Okay, what's up, everybody? You're watching the Odyssey podcast with your host, Rome, and today I'm interviewing Kyle Sparkman.
What's up?
Just to give you guys some rundown real quick, we're going to figure it out, but maybe Mike call us the Odd Pod or Odyssey Podcast. Whatever works for you, run with it. But yeah, we're just trying it out. I'm going to probably try to say like a similar intro in the beginning of every episode, just to be like, Odyssey Podcast, life journey, we'll get it right. I'm just being as honest and transparent with you guys. But okay, let's get to the juicy stuff. What's up, Kyle Sparkman?
Not much.
I'm saying it punctual like that.
Yeah, people think it's Sparkmen, M-E-N, because I say Sparkman, but Sparkman. Yeah.
That's super cool and interesting. It's almost like a superhero.
Yeah, it's like my real last name. And it just like happens to work. It's a good name for a musician, I guess. Yeah. And I have red hair, so it all ties together.
Yeah, like it's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow, that's dope. So okay, let's get into it. When did you start making music?
I guess like I started playing guitar in 2005, but I played piano for a little bit for like a year before that. Like I wanted to learn guitar after hearing like a Rolling Stones guitar solo on the radio. Dope. My parents were like, learn piano first. So I did that for a year and then quit. And I was like, why do
you think they were like that?
I guess they like, I mean, like, I don't know. Like my parents aren't musicians. I feel like that's like a very smart move. Like if you like, have a kid who wants to be a musician, like learning piano is a great way to learn music theory. It's all laid out in front of you. It's a really good base to build on. I don't know how they arrived at that conclusion.
Yeah, that's so crazy. I completely agree with your parents on that. If that's what they were thinking, they're right. Because I remember learning music theory and a little bit about playing the piano. And to this day, I think it's what helps me when I make music. Because it's like the piano is such an important instrument. Like it's crazy.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's the way like you build chords on a piano is really just laid out in front of you. Like guitar is like not the most like straightforward instrument when you're like learning it. But maybe as far as my parents thought, like we had a piano at our house and they're like, we're not going to buy this kid a guitar. He's going to do it for like 2 weeks and then put it down. So maybe that's why. But
yeah, maybe like at the time too, like playing a piano is more of like a classical vibe. Maybe they could see you doing something with that. And then if the guitar, they're like, oh, he's going to just be in a band. And like they probably didn't think too highly of that.
Yeah. I mean, my dad played a guitar, so he was into it.
Oh,
he was
so
like, yeah, he like
in the family, you would say.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like my dad strums around, like he I wouldn't say he's like dedicated his life to music or anything, but yeah, so I did piano for a year and then I was like, I'm out. And I just like quit and I was like, I still want to play guitar. So then like started taking guitar lessons, like did that on and off for like a couple years and like just didn't get bit with like the music bug until I mean, like, I played throughout high school, but really till I like was out of high school and college. Then I just like started getting obsessed with guitar. Like there was like one song, this like crazy like jazz song that I just like heard in a movie and I was like, I want to play this on guitar. If I can learn it, I'm set. And so I just spent like months learning it. And then like, yeah, it was kind of off from there.
That normally how it like kind of really gets you in the door when you like learn one thing and you repeat it. Right. It like gives you such a great foundation for like other stuff.
Yeah, it's like I didn't know what was happening on the guitar, but I like trained my fingers to do it. So it's like, all right, if I can do that, then like I'll go back and now like learn some more of the fundamentals.
Now, when you play your guitar, like is it electrical? Is it acoustic? Like is it like what do you do?
I play both, like there's no better feeling than just like picking up a guitar and playing right away. So I love just like writing music on an acoustic, and like when I perform, like I always play with my band and like I'm always using an electric there just because like we get into more like rock stuff, like funk stuff. It's just like playing live with an acoustic with a band like sucks. Like it's
Does
like,
it really?
Yeah, because like with an electric guitar, just like the way the pickups work, it's really easy to come through an amp. Acoustics, you have to have a really nice one, but like even then it can start feedbacking on stage and like it just gets hectic and harder to control your sound. So
if someone was to do like a live performance and the guitar is acoustic, that's like impressive.
Yeah, I mean, like there some people it's just more like their vibe, like more of like the folk, like a folk person would go on and like I just don't have a really nice acoustic that's like built for the stage. It's more about the hardware that's within, but yeah.
I like that. So when you started playing with the guitar, you said at the age of like 11?
Like 11, I think, yeah.
Okay, and then so this was the year after you gave up the piano stuff, or was this
I think so. I took piano lessons for a year, like did that and like, like played in like the little band after school thing at my like middle school, and then like didn't do much with it in high school, got more into it in college, and then like I when I was like a junior in college, I just like moved to France to go to college. It's like so much cheaper. I was just like, oh, you can just enroll in a school in France. Like, why am I paying like taking out these loans to like go to school in the U.S.? So I moved to France and like got there, had no cell service or internet for like 2 weeks, and I was so bored that I just started writing songs and stuff and like singing.
That
And like
sounds crazy.
yeah, and then I was also just like, all right, well, I'm just gonna go out and see like what happens. Like I started playing in the street because I was like, well, I don't know any of these people, and I speak English, and they seem to like English songs.
You kind of got the it factor to them,
and like know? So yeah, I just like started doing it there, and that's when I was like, oh, cool, like this is awesome. And then like started performing more. You know,
where were you in France?
I lived in Paris.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, so
go big or go home, kids.
Yeah, that was a crazy experience.
What's it like out there?
You know, it's like a totally different thing. I feel like a lot of people go to Paris and they can have a bad time. It's like going to New York City, you know, like you hear all this stuff about it. Then if you go to Times Square, you're going to have a shitty time. Like, but like I loved it there because I lived there for like 8 or 9 months. And, you know, like at first it might not seem that different because like, you know, French is similar enough to the English language. It's not like it's like Chinese, like Mandarin or anything like that. But like, it's a totally different, like just like European versus American like mindset. It's a lot different. I think they have a lot more appreciation for the arts and live music in general. So there's like such a like cool like rich art scene there in Paris. Like there's a huge river that runs through it, and like people just gather out there. There's like drum circles, just like chilling and dancing, and yeah, it was a great time.
Wow, that's super cool. You know, some of the stuff I know personally about like France that like makes sense historically. Like I've learned some cool stories like during wartime, like back in the day. Like everyone has their vices on like what gets people to go like get by, and like in France, I think they did a lot of live performances and stuff like that. Like people always had an appreciation for that there, so it makes sense that you would go there and like you doing a live performance. They're like, yo, I like this guy. Like, you know what I'm saying? And like, what are you like? Where are your parents from? Because like you could pass as a Frenchman to me. Not gonna lie.
I mean, do you have a guess on that?
I want to say
based on like the hair and freckles. And
are you like
skin.
A type of like what's it called? Irish?
Yeah.
Okay.
Dude, straight up Irish.
Okay. Cool.
Like,
cool.
I guess my mom's family's like Scotch Irish, like Scotland, Ireland, then like emigrated to Canada. That's my general.
Okay.
And then like I don't know as much about my dad's side, but yeah.
Okay, so
like,
you're
I can't
for the
be
most
in the
part,
sun for more than like 20 seconds without.
Damn, maybe
red.
you're a vampire.
that's also possible.
Yeah, you might be a vampire. Who knows? That's pretty crazy. So all right, let's get back to France. I have some more questions.
Yeah.
What did it smell like?
Wow, that's interesting. Sometimes piss, you know.
Paris
is not the
it's crazy
city.
I've heard stories about Paris, bro, where it's like they're like beautiful place, man. Arts, everything amazing, but they're like it just smells very badly out there. Like people say it has a very pissy smell, almost like what you said.
It's a city, you know, like New York City smells like piss too, but like
probably.
It's really beautiful because like if you think about it, you know, like America is like a really young country compared to like
other
Europe.
places.
It's so old, so they have like all of the buildings like look the same. It's like super old architecture and stuff. So it's like it is beautiful. Like I don't know if there's any city that I've ever been to that's like more beautiful, but yeah, it's not the cleanest.
That sounds amazing.
But I mean, other smells is like the bakeries and like. I
was thinking that. I was about to say,
what
like, did you get that like walking on the street, window shopping, or going into stores and like you smell food or something? Was it like that?
Absolutely, yeah. Okay. I feel like maybe compared to like America, like French people do their grocery shopping like more often, where they'll get smaller hauls. So like it's a part of the day for a French family, just like go get a fresh baguette of bread. Like the stereotype is real, you know.
They literally walk with the bread and the fresh veggies. Yeah. That makes sense because in America we kind of do things in bulk. That's why some of our stuff isn't as fresh, because it's like you should be going to get your produce every day.
Right.
Why are you cooking with the tomato from last week, bro?
Dude, yeah.
Like,
seriously.
Nah, it's crazy. So like I'm not even mad at them for that.
Yeah.
What was the best thing you tried there, like food wise?
I ended up living with a French family who just like took me in, and you know, like just them making like meals,
home
like
cooked stuff.
When I like just during the winter time, like just like the soups they would make.
I was thinking that
there's this thing called raclette where it's like they like boil a bunch of potatoes and then put them on this hot plate, and then under the hot plate you put like cheese and it melts it, and then you pour the melted cheese over the potatoes with like ham and all this other stuff.
Oh yeah, sign me up.
Yeah, it's so
What's
good.
that called?
Raclette. And you can buy these machines, like it's like the machine's like $20 or $30, and then you just like, it's so good. It like puts you in a food coma. I think it's from like maybe like Switzerland or something, like comes from that area.
Wow, that sounds fire. I feel like living with like actual French natives and like getting the home cooked meal, you got the full experience, bro.
I really did.
Like,
and I still keep in touch with them. I was just over there a couple months ago. Yeah, they're super supportive and stuff. But like, I just went over there and I went on a surf trip with my friend and we like went to a music festival and then like I went and we stayed with them and like, yeah, it's just so nice to have that like cultural exchange and also can't beat the wine over there. It's like super cheap and
how cheap are we talking?
You can get like, like €3, like which right now is like $3 for like a good bottle of wine, like I would see like €3 bottles of wine like over there and then see it imported here for like 15 to $20. So like
sounds about right.
Yeah. Just everything, man. The food there, like they also have like specialty shops, it's just like you go to, it's the cheese shop and like there's a ton of them and there's like the butcher shop or whatever, or like the bread shop. It's like,
oh wow, so they have specific shops for just the one thing.
And it's a dude who's been doing it for like 40 years. He's gonna tell you exactly what to get and he's very passionate about it.
Wow. Love that for them. It's cool. Like it seems like just more passionate all around in like the simplistic things of life. Like
there's pros and cons. I think as much as like people sometimes say Americans are like optimists, like there's some pessimism that I feel like runs at the core of like France, which like, that kind of wore on me sometimes. Not saying that like everyone's pessimistic, but like if you're going to generalize and stuff, like I feel like America is very just like go-getter culture.
Yeah.
And also like the way we make friends is different. Like they will be like, like just, they're more closed at first. It's harder to make friends, I think.
So even if you're like a nice, normal person, they'll still be like,
Kind of. They think it's weird, like the way, like, you meet someone at a party and you like connect with them, have a good vibe, like, yo, we should go do that. And then be like, yeah. And like, maybe it happens, maybe it doesn't. They're like, why are you trying to make plans with me? I just met you, like type of deal.
I mean, technically I get it. Yeah. There's some crazy ass people out here and I can understand where it's like, I can only imagine what it's like in those countries, people are probably doing some wild shit.
Yeah. So. But yeah, man, I like, there I kind of like decided like I want to pursue music. So I moved back. I finished out school in the US and like started a band. I was living in South Carolina and like started my band there. I lived in this tiny college town and I was like, oh, this is so easy, dude. Like we played one show and it was like packed and like there's like only
felt it.
Yeah, there's only like
this is real.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, oh, it's gonna be so easy. It's like there's only like 4 bars in the whole town. And then like I moved to Philly to just like relocate and like I had a rude awakening. I was like, I have to do a lot of like learning about what it means to like be a musician, like in the music scene, like play live. And like I spent like 3 years just like learning.
How are you doing with the shift? Like obviously you dealt with it. You're in Philly. I'm guessing you're still doing shows. You're coming off of an album.
Yep.
What's the name of the album?
Irrational Actors.
Irrational Actors. It's like split sided, right? With like red and blue cover. Yeah. It's pretty cool. Like
thanks, man. I actually brought the album cover. I forgot to grab it. It's like right over there.
You should have. Tycho, could you grab that for us?
Yeah, it's in my backpack.
Camera time.
So yeah, a local artist did that. This guy, Michele Scott, who I've, like before the album came out, I put out like 8 singles and like, I just like decided it was time to do like a full project. So I've been working with this guy a bunch and, thanks. He just like, he just knocked it out of the park.
Dude, he so snapped.
Happy. Yeah. I was like, I want something that, looks good on Spotify, like far away. And it's just like very bright and colorful. And and then like when you have the vinyl, because I'm getting vinyl records made, like you can just like stare at it.
Yeah, bro, you're so on the money with that. From far away, it does look cool, and I see it as absolutely. I get closer, and I'm seeing all the little intricate details of the face. Now let me ask you: is there an upside? Like
so like, the blue is on the left.
I figured. Okay.
It kind of works both ways, though.
I was thinking that. You know what's crazy? Maybe that's how you can see like how someone's brain works. Cause me, when I held it, naturally, the red seemed to be on the left side for me. But that's why I asked.
That's interesting.
Because I was like, you said the blue is.
Yeah.
This shit is dope as fuck. I don't know if you guys can see it, but I'm gonna just hold it out.
Yeah, man. It's like a lot of the album, I feel like I have like 2 sides to my music. Like there's like a very energetic and funky side, and then like a more, like tender.
Blues, tender. Pensive. Wow.
And like
bro.
The album is also about like kind of the duality of like humans, like irrational actors. Like we all like everyone puts on a front, and like behind, like everyone's kind of crazy in their own way and stuff. So it's like I wanted like a very much like, yin and yang vibe. And the artist just like nailed it. It's like one of my favorite parts of the whole album, to be honest.
Yeah, honestly, bro, like very great job. Just gonna give you your flowers early. I heard a couple tracks with Tycho in the background, and I think it's very admirable of you to be making real music and trying to keep like a real sound alive when we live in a day and age where they're trying to make AI artists. Everything is made in a DAW off of Omnisphere and a bunch of loops that someone else made. Like there's not a lot of real sounds anymore. And like it was literally like the same way when you hear a song that's refreshing. When I heard your music and I heard the beat, it was literally like refreshing to my ears. Like I literally was like, yo, I forgot what a real drum sounds like. Like dead ass, bro. So it's like I love that shit. And it's like I want you to keep going. Like honestly, let's get more into like the album. How many songs is it?
10 songs. And thank you, man, because like it's, you know, it's hard to do that. Like do like, you know, recording bands is really expensive, you know, and like one of the tracks we had programmed drums on. I was like, no, we're just gonna like re-record and do the full thing like live. And I want to keep that alive, and like I love performing live. So I was like, I want the album to reflect that. I don't want it to be too polished with samples where it's just like a huge drum sound. Like I want you to feel like you're in the room. And like I recorded this really like it's almost spanning 2 years in terms of when I started, because like a few of the songs I was just like, oh, I'll just put these out as singles, and I wasn't sure I was gonna do an album. But then once I decided, I was like, all right, we're gonna kind of revisit those songs. So I recorded it at 4 different studios in Philly, 4 producers and 14 musicians like in total. And you know, like a lot of the songs have different like rhythm sections where like bass and drummer, so it's like you get these different like interactions on every one. And like that's something like, you know, how I met
it gives it a uniqueness in a way.
Yeah, I like that. It's like just like the way I came up in Philly was like, you know, being a hired gun guitarist. Like at the time at Tycho, I was like coming in doing recording sessions, like playing guitar for whoever would pay me to, you know, and just like working with a ton of people. It's one of the things I love about Philadelphia is like the music scene is so welcoming. You know, we talked about like having mutual connection, like Sunny.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I like playing with her and our other friend CJ, like more of like the R&B vibe. You know, playing with rock artists, folk artists.
That's how you grow.
Funk. So like I wanted to like try to input that in the album.
Even you saying that, like it makes sense to me to even see the success you're like building and that you're gonna receive even more of, because you said something very important to me. Like you said, like, you know, obviously, you know, you want to do your music and you have your desires and goals, but you have this skill at playing the guitar. So you found like a middle ground of like using your skill to kind of keep your dreams alive and feed that. And I find that very interesting because I interviewed someone else named Aunt Beal, and that was like a critical thing in his story.
Oh, nice.
He's a Jersey artist. He had a song called Sunshine that went viral and stuff like that. He actually has a lyrical Lemonade video.
Oh, sick.
So check it out.
I'll check it out.
Basically, he said that there's a point where he stopped doing music and he was just doing photography, and he was meeting people and all this stuff, and that kind of like led to him actually being able to get back to making music, actually doing it for real. And he was saying like it's just so important as people to understand like the thing you want to do, it's like sometimes you're gonna have to do other things to come back to it. And if you're so afraid of leaving that thing, that will be the thing that destroys it. You know what I mean?
Man.
Like,
yeah, that's really well said.
Because that's exactly what you kind of just said. You know,
absolutely.
Hired gun. Like you already knew. It's like it's not really what you want to do, but it's like it gets shit done.
Right, and that's like, you know, it was extremely formative in like the kind of music I'm putting out there, and it just like led me to a place where I'm just like, you know, I've seen, you know, the industry is a tough place for anyone, like the music industry, like no matter what you're doing. And I've seen like, you know, as a guitarist, there's different paths. It's like you can try to become an awesome session guitarist, and like that's fun. It's like each one is its own hustle in its own way. So it's like I just have to do like, it's so like rewardless or whatever oftentimes, like in terms of like making a living as an artist. I was like, I'm just gonna do what I love. Like, and you know, like
it's like the more and more you do that, the less and less the soul of the thing you love is there. It's like I feel you.
And like also just like, you know, coming up like as an independent artist and being in that space, like a lot of like the modern industry I feel like isn't made for like the type of music I'm making and putting out. You know, like a lot of stuff are like, you know, like put like lyric videos on TikTok and like all this stuff. I'm like, that's just like doesn't really fit my music. And people are like, don't put out an album. Like, what are you doing? Like, you got to drip singles. And I'm just like, it doesn't, you know, like I'm not like, it's never my goal to like, you know, go like ultra viral and start playing like stadiums.
Just
it's
be
like,
you, man.
I want to be a middle class artist who just like,
bro, I love that for you. There's not enough of that energy in the world where I feel like everyone's trying to follow someone else's like structure for success. They don't even know why they want it, but they just want it because it looks cool for that person. And it's like, I could tell you're doing what you're doing because you want to do it.
Right.
Like, because everyone says don't drop an album. You doing an album with live sounds and stuff, you're a madman. But that's what I think makes you like someone to be at this table having a conversation right now.
For sure, I appreciate that.
Because like you even said, the music industry is hard for everyone. So even when you're really talented, so what? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like uniqueness. It's such it's like an unvalued trait. It's like we need to appreciate it more. Because like, so what if you're not the best or this, that, but you're unique? Like literally, we can't find another you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I think it's like super dope that you're doing that. Like,
thanks, man.
That's freaking crazy.
And like, just even going back to like the two sides, you know, like I have the two sides where it's like, I made this album because like when I'm 80, I want to have that album and hold on to it and remember. And the other side, like I'm like, you know, I'm pursuing like being a musician in the industry because I love playing live, and it's like my ultimate goal and dream to like tour. And like that's like, so it's like I have these two things, like doing it for myself and, you know, and then like also doing it to try to get touring and performance opportunities. So it's like sometimes they're at odds with each other because like, you know, you have to do stuff in the industry. You have to invest in the stuff,
you
like
gotta
put
play
it out. Like
that's pretty dope. So how is the current scene right now in Philly? Like how, like, you know, like
it's great, man. You know, there's a ton of people who are like doing band recorded music and stuff, and like in different scenes. Like Philly has a really strong like DIY like basement show scene. You know, there's like a lot of pop punk and stuff. So there's like really all over the place. Like the electronic music scene is super strong in Philly, like heavy bass music, and like I have friends in that scene and stuff.
There's probably a lot of DJs out there then.
Yeah, for sure. And like, you know, like I feel like I don't exactly know where I fit in because there's a jazz element to my music. There's like a psychedelic, like rock, funk element. So I'm like,
you're an artist,
kind of just like fluid, and like, you know, people are moving in that direction and stuff. So like, I love when I find bands that I feel like are in that space in Philly, because I don't feel like there's a ton. Like sometimes just like, it's like, you know, easy enough to place. Not saying people are just like, you can put them in a box or whatever, but you're like, oh, well, that's a psych rock band or that's a punk rock band or like whatever. So like there's some cool bands in Philly that are like doing the same stuff. But like I said, man, like everyone's super welcoming. Like I think in like the New York scene, it's a bit more competitive. You know, it's also
I
just
wonder
like,
why that is.
Yeah, I think it's just like, you know, they're
both a city.
Yeah.
You know, like.
Yeah, it's weird. Like, I don't know, maybe there's just like bigger musicians there. It's kind of the hustle culture of New York.
Yeah.
It's less opportunities for like people to get together. You know, you go to rehearse and you're like taking a subway an hour out to like the middle of nowhere, Bushwick and stuff. Like, I don't know. Philly just has a laid back, like,
it's like easy going. Everyone's more friendly. I could see that. I think the musical scene in Philly has grown drastically over the past like 2 years. Like, it's like almost like, I don't want to speak before it's fully there, but it's almost like the same way Atlanta and like other places get their own little music hub and they're recycling and, you know, doing their own thing every year. They got a new artist from there. I feel like Philly has really gotten to the point where it's like every year you can expect something from Philly. Like,
definitely. I mean, you have like huge names coming out like Tierra Whack and stuff. Literally. And like, you know, also like Japanese Breakfast. I think she's an indie artist who's out of Philly. Like,
there's a lot of people from Philly people don't know.
Yeah, for sure. It's like
Tycho works with Pink Sweats. I believe he's a Pink Philly
Sweats.
artist.
Yeah, absolutely.
A lot of people don't know he's originally from Philly, but yeah.
Right. Yeah. There's this organization called Rec Philly that's kind of like a gym for musicians or whatever. They're right in Center City, and they have like, you can get a membership, and there's like a bunch of studios. So they're working on just like giving equal access to like, you know, people who might not be able to like afford studio time. You can get a few credits by having like a membership there. There's like cool initiatives going on. I mean, like,
that's
I think
a beautiful thing.
Yeah, I think like there's, you know, it's like every place has its trade-offs. Like Philly has a lower cost of living, which I love because like I don't have band members that are contributing to like, you know, like the cost of recording an album and stuff. I'm just like putting my savings account in it and stuff like that.
Basically, it's all you type shit.
Yeah, for sure. So it's like I like living in Philly because like, you know, I'm not like killing myself to live in LA and pay, you know, 3 times the rent, and like
there might be still trying to pay studio time, music video, all this stuff.
Exactly. Like I wouldn't be able to do that. I mean, at the same time, every place has its trade-offs. You know, I think there's in LA, I think people are really focused and stuff. There's so much talent in Philadelphia, but like sometimes it's almost like I see some bands, I'm like, and including myself, you know, I'm just like, oh, everyone here could benefit from more connections and like some more professionalism almost in like terms of pursuing their goals.
It's like, not to say anyone has it easier, because I feel like we all have our own hardships, but like in LA or on the West Coast, like the amount of studios, peer spaces, cameramen, like just people who are way more readily available and because there's so many, their prices are cheaper. Like the whole artistic creation process is kind of easier for them. Like I have some friends out in LA where it's like they're shooting videos every week, and I'm over here like, how are you doing this on top of the song and promoting it? And they're like, oh yeah, $200 video with a red camera.
Yeah,
because
crazy.
That same dude is probably shooting like 4 other videos that week, and it's like, bro, he's chilling, making like, you know what I'm saying, like
exactly.
So like wow, that's crazy. Shout out to you said it was Rec Philly.
Yeah.
Did you record any of your music there? Or?
I didn't, but like, you know, that's where I met Sunny. We were talking about, we both knew her, and like I met a bunch of people. It's like a good place, I think, if you like move to a city and you're trying to like get a feel of what's around. They host events and stuff, and they're just like, you know, they also, you can like, if you're trying to get gigs, like they help people get gigs. It's a good place to like get your footing and stuff. So
after this, definitely tap us in with them. I'd like to because I want to give light to people doing great things. So like someone like him, whoever's in charge of that, I want to know how his brain works. Because you know what I'm saying? That to me is amazing what you're doing. So it's like, I like to speak to him about that.
For sure. It's Will Toms and Dave Silver, and there's a whole team. And they just actually are opening like the second place in Miami. They're like expanding the idea.
Oh, wow. Is it going to be called Rec Philly?
Rec Miami.
Whoa, that sounds like it means a different thing.
Yeah.
But just because Miami, y'all know that state will change you. But shout out Florida. I love my Floridians. But I want to get back more on the music because I keep staring at it. So now that it's out, you said it was a longer rollout because at first it started off as a bunch of singles, and then you're like, I got to fucking do this. So now that you did this and it's out, like I'm just curious to know, like what do you want, like when will you feel complete with this? Like how do you feel complete with this?
So like, yeah, you know, I have a bunch of like videos like just like that I'm waiting to drop and stuff. So I guess like what I'm, you know, my trajectory that I'm hoping is like using this to like start booking some better shows for next year. I'm like already have a few things in the works that I'm excited about. But you know, the first time that my music ever got any attention from people outside of like my own social circle was a live performance of like a song that I had already put out. Like I put out this song Funk 215 in January 2020. You know, like people said some nice stuff, but like just, you know, friends and family, like that's just where I was at. And then I decided to just like literally go out in like my parents' like backyard, and I like gave my dad my iPhone. I was like, can you film my band playing this song live? And I had one of my producer friends like record us. So we had like the audio like legit set up, and we just like played it, and I put that on Instagram, and then like a week later it was on Discover Weekly. So it's like, you know, like I said, like the live aspect is a big part of my music. I think people connect with that. So for this album,
bro, that's fire. Yeah. And organic. I love that for you.
Yeah. I mean, I put some ad money behind it for sure, but it just worked, you know, like
got to. I feel like that's a given. Like anyone who's dropping music and they're not putting any type of promotional money behind it, it's like, you don't know how this game works.
That's the lottery ticket strategy,
it's bro. Like, I'm saying? It's like, bro, what are you doing?
Yeah,
like,
you're just going to like hope and like,
you can't leave it up to hope, because if you have a plan and you're working hard, it's more like, can you maintain it long enough for you to reap the benefits? There's no longer any uncertainty. It's just like, do you have the longevity to maintain it now?
Yeah. And so it's there's still a ton of power in organic content, and not like, you know, I have bills to spend on ads. Like I put $100 in, and then like by the end of that ad thing, it was like on Discover Weekly, which is like awesome. And
you see this shit, bro. Believe in yourself, bro. Here's the story. It was your last $100. That's what you need to say in the next interview.
You're right. Yeah. I had $50 left, and I was 50 in the
He's like, he's like, this is all I got. But so what did it feel like when you saw the song like starting to buzz on Discover Weekly, getting more organic streams? Like, that's exciting.
It was great, man. Like, I don't know, like I feel like I go through a thing where it's like, with the songs I record, I love them, and then like I hate them so much. And that's where I was at with that song. I was like, I hate this song. There's so much wrong with it. And then like, and I was like, I hate the video too. And I was just like not feeling good about it. Like I just got in my head, and then the response was like pretty immediate. I was like, oh wait, I forgot that I once thought this song was awesome. And it is pretty awesome.
So past you would have been proud.
Yeah,
to be like, look what we did, man.
Yeah, seriously. I always think about that as like young little skinny redheaded Kyle. Well, I'm still skinny, but young little Kyle like would have been stoked at what I'm doing.
What, like, so with the video now, you said you had your producer to do the audio and then your dad to record the iPhone. So was it just like a iPhone edited video with the real recorded audio
with the music
to kind of help
in.
it give it more the fullerness?
Yeah, exactly. Like we don't we do it all in one take. Like we don't cut together a thing or like fake anything. All the audio is
What do you
real.
use to record it? Like it was all set up to, like, you guys were all set up to something?
Like my audio engineer friend, like we ran extension cords from my dad's house, my parents' house, and then like he brought a mobile rig where he's got compressor and like the preamp and everything. And like,
wow,
it was just a very lean setup. It was like bass, guitar, drums, and 2 vocals. And
yeah, just like kind of like it gets the job done if the skill's there. And
exactly.
y'all had the skills, so that's probably why it worked.
Yeah.
Bro, that is so dope. Like I look forward to just like even in my own success with anything I do, like that feeling of like organic appreciation. I think that is as close to satisfaction any musician will ever get. Because like, yeah, you can have the right connections, work with a label, they put money behind you, now you're famous, now you're on, you know why? Money. Right. Not really because, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like to see you drop something and like that happen, bro, that's like amazing. Like don't ever let nobody take that from you.
For sure. It's so satisfying to know that the music is connecting with people, you know? Even it's like, even if I'm like kind of in it for a selfish reason, it's just like I just want to record my music and like have it so I can listen to like people are connecting with it. Like that's awesome. You know, I got people reaching out from like all over the world, like from Japan to Chile. Yeah, for sure. And just like
you thinking about maybe like doing shows back there? Like what's the vibe?
Yeah, so that's another thing is like because like I even moved back there. Like I lived in Paris, moved back to the US, and then I moved back again to a town called Lyon, which is like in the south of France. And
how long for the second
time? Just for like 7 or 8 months or something like that.
Oh, so another. Okay.
Yeah, and like just such a great music scene there. But I would see these bands come through where like, you know, they might have like 6,000 Instagram followers and like a decent like Spotify following, nothing crazy. But then they would be like playing like, you know, like 20 dates in 20 days in Europe and like driving around Europe in a van. You can hit 4 countries in 4 days. And like they're playing these awesome shows in just like mid-sized clubs. And I was like, I would love to have like France as like a home base for like Europe touring and just like go around there.
Yeah, that'd be fire.
It's been part of what I've been trying to do is like get my music over there and stuff. So.
Honestly, I definitely think you can, like, with the appreciation for like the real arts in like that area, and you're literally making real art, bro. Like real sounds, real everything. It's like it'd be a missed opportunity for them if like they're not soaking in some Kyle Sparkman. Wow.
Appreciate it.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's just crazy. I keep staring at this one.
Oh,
stands out the most to me, and I don't know why. Like this one gives me. You ever seen Adventure Time?
Yeah.
You know, Finn and Jake, the dog. Kind of like just the color. He doesn't look like Jake, but that tone of yellow I feel is literally the same color as Jake.
I can see that.
So it's like that's what I really like, and he reminds me of it's wild. This cover art is like very nostalgic to me in a way. Remember, it's a show where there were kids and they were like they wore masks and they were like lucha libre wrestlers or some shit.
Oh yeah, I don't know what it's called.
I forgot
like
what it's called.
Lucha Libre. That,
yeah,
like,
it was like a
reminds me of
cartoon
something.
show. He reminds me of like one of the characters on the show.
Yeah, I'm like still finding stuff in the art, and you know, like he really packed it in.
Bro, he packed like the longer I stare at it, the more I see other faces I didn't see. Then I see small details like that looks like a cat going into something.
That's like my parents.
Bro,
cat.
I really wish they could see this, bro. Like, I hope y'all understand. This shit is fire, bro.
Yeah. I even had so like the artist, he's like interested in potentially like starting to do tattoos. So like I had him design these 2 tattoos and he like put it in the art like right there.
Bruh, that's crazy. Yeah, the pencil literally and the knife.
sword,
wow, you are your art. That's crazy. So like you're in Philly, there's a lot of people, you're doing music, you're a young man. Are you single?
Yep. Yeah. I'd say I wrote a lot of these songs after I got out of a relationship. Not that like the album is about that. I just, you know, like once I moved in on my own, like I'm very introverted and like I think most comfortable having just like my own space and stuff. I just like all the like songs like float like just came forth after that. And like also a lot of them, like one of the tracks is literally from 2018. It's like one of the first songs I brought this producer I worked with. I recorded it and like just didn't like with a different producer and like just changed the way I played it live. So I just like re-recorded it. So it's like some old songs, some brand new. that was the other cool thing is like working with 4 different producers, like the songs came together in a lot of different ways. Like
it's like all like that's kind of organic.
Yeah, 2 of the songs were at this studio called Milk Boy, and like I work with this this producer Samantha Rosen, and like we co-wrote the songs like in the studio together, which is never how I work. Like, you know, I brought like little guitar vibes that we like built out, but like that was like a challenge to me. Like it took a long time to bring those songs together, because usually I bring an entire song, you know, like at least on the guitar done, and then I flesh it out with the band. But that was us working in the studio, going back, finding like, okay, who's the right drummer and bassist to play on this and stuff. And then like another time it was like I did it like my way, with like where I'm like, you know, just like fleshing out the song mostly by myself and then bringing it to my band. And then other tracks I work with this band called Trap Rabbit, and they're like a keys and drums duo who are like, they call themselves Philly's premier fake jazz group, but like they're insane. They're playing in like crazy time signatures and stuff, and like very well known in Philly as like the dudes, and they play with a ton of people. And like going in the studio with them was a whole nother experience. Like their bassist friend, this guy John Coleman, he was like kind of acted like the musical director, like bringing the arrangement together. And then like they also record in this one studio, and like they're producers, so like that whole process was like so smooth. And
sometimes it's great to not be the only creator in the room, because it like, you think it gets complicated, but nah, sometimes it's like everyone makes everyone's job easier.
Exactly. Yeah, with that I was like wondering, I was just like, you know, like these 2 guys in the band Trap Rat are producers, and then the engineer that they share the studio with, he's also a producer. So I was like, how, like 3 producers and then like plus me, like, you know, it's like all like a co-production soup. And I was just like, how is this going to work? But like it was literally perfect. It's like the drummer kind of like, you know, he knows his strengths. He's like an insane like just head for rhythm and like all these things.
Like
and then,
super in tune with shit. I love being around people like that making music, bro.
It's like it's so easy.
It's like, it's almost like they're a cheat code.
Yeah.
Like it's like they just, this is what you should do. You're like, yes.
Yeah,
yes.
exactly.
Like, you know what I'm saying? They just know so much. Like I like that.
Yeah.
That's funny.
And then like the other guy is just like insane with like synths and stuff. This guy Logan, and then like the engineer, he's this this guy Michael Cumming. He's British. He like came over from London, and like the room is this like, the studio is this like small studio way up in like Kensington, and like you wouldn't think you would get good sounds out of it, because it's like the console he's recording at is like in the same exact room as like where the drums are playing. And we recorded the bass, guitar, keys, and drums live all together, and you listen to those songs and you think it's like recorded in like, you know, $1 million studio with a crazy isolation. It's just like feeling, he knows, he has his room so dialed in that they have the sound just like he amazing,
knows how to get the best sound out of it.
And then like and I also just didn't want to do an album where it was like only my one way of creating songs, because I think the whole album would start to sound too similar.
Yeah, especially how many songs was it?
10.
Yeah, see, yeah, I mean 10 isn't like too much for where I feel like your vibe would have got tiresome, but like it's good to keep it refreshed like that. Absolutely. And on top of the half and half with like I'm pretty sure it's like, it's probably a hell of a like experience. I definitely want to check it out and like play the whole thing later.
Sure, yeah.
Because like just from the few songs I heard, it was like you ever remember like songs someone older would show you, and like surprisingly you're like, whoa, this is actually pretty cool. That's how it felt like when he showed me it. It felt like it was something that was older, but I was just like, oh, this is still a bop though. Like, you know what I'm saying? So like I could definitely see this being something that's like kind of timeless.
Thanks, man. Yeah,
like, easily.
I love that, and it's like it's the music I grew up on. So like, you know,
it's like you're living your truth and you're doing like the things you love. Like I'm very happy for you.
Thanks, dude.
What else can we expect from you? Like just in general after this?
You know, touring? Like some of these songs, yeah, I'm trying to tour. It's like my ultimate goal and stuff. You know, like right now we're just doing like a Philly and like a Washington DC album release show. I got those tomorrow and Friday. I'm really excited for those, but I'll be playing a bunch in Philly, trying to line some stuff up for the summer. And I'm hungry to get back in the studio, honestly. Like, you know, I've had this ready, and like I've had these tunes done for like, you know, not a year, like 8 months now, and I'm just like, I'm ready. I got more music to come out. So yeah, I think like, you know, I'm too broke to do another album right now. It's so expensive. So like I'm trying to probably put out like an EP next, and like, yeah, I like having like some more songs to chew on, like maybe a 4-song project next. And
facts. That's good. Definitely nothing wrong though with like just taking a break, letting yourself reset.
Yeah,
like,
I definitely need to.
Like outside the musical stuff, like what are you doing with your life? Like currently, you watching anything on Netflix or anything?
Yeah. So I've been watching. What did I just watch? Severance. It's on Apple TV. It's like about like the people who. It's like this like shadowy like Apple type corporation, and like the people who work there, they have a medical procedure so that when they go into work, they don't remember who they are outside of work, and then when they leave work, they don't remember who they are inside of work. So it's like they're two people. It's a crazy show, dude. You gotta watch
that. That is fire.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
probably gonna be watching that later tonight.
Yeah, it's so good.
That was fire, bro.
Yeah, but,
I just I'll share one with you. I just
yeah.
watched The Boys. It's an Amazon Prime exclusive thing.
Oh, is that about the superheroes?
Yeah.
Dude, my dad watches that. He's been telling me it's awesome.
It's fire.
I need to check it out.
They took it just like imagine a world where superheroes are real, but it's just taking the more realistic approach of like what would they be like if they had personalities and needs, and what really happens if a human being has powers. So I think it's brilliant, bro. It's a little raunchy, but it's super dope. Between that and I feel like everyone's been talking about Jeffrey Dahmer.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I just watched the Jeffrey Dahmer thing.
I just started that as
Kids,
well.
don't eat people.
Yeah.
There's so many delicious things on this beautiful planet Earth. Listen. Can we zoom in? It's like,
Try
but
tofu.
nah, seriously, man. Like, dude, seriously. If you ever feel the need to eat somebody, I don't know.
Take a moment to think about that. Take a moment to think about that, how that feels for the person on the other end.
Yeah, that shit is, it's no bueno. It's no bueno.
Yeah.
But, yeah, you want to? Can we?
Sure, yeah, absolutely.
All right, so this is the first time ever. We're going to kind of give you guys a taste. Like, we want y'all to come watch these podcasts, get to know your favorite artists, listen to them, or maybe discover your new favorite artist, respectfully. So, we're about to play some songs, or a song off of his newest album. Man, take the floor. Talk your shit.
All right, I mean, like, first track is Sidewalk. That's my favorite because it's, like, gritty, a little spooky sounding, like, kind of like this crazy, like, distorted bass, and then yeah, it's just like disco. It's like disco gritty.
Bet.
It's one of my favorites. I have two favorite tracks on it, so maybe we can listen to a snippet of each of those.
Okay, bet. Turn it up a little bit more.
They found you dead on the sidewalk, blood all over the place. Draw your body in white chalk, just to save you some face. It's such a simple decision, so why'd you feel so safe? You never gave up a vision, so get right out the way. It's just one day to walk away. It comes out in waves every day, feel the same, yeah. It comes out in waves every day, feel the same.
It's like so pleasing, at least to me, in my ears, hearing the real instruments. It's like, it's a feeling I can't even describe. I feel like the average person wouldn't be able to. They haven't heard enough fake sounds to kind of be able to differentiate.
Yeah, there's like a liveliness from the drums that you get when it's like not a sample.
Bro, literally, it's like there's a certain sound that's in the like in like the just the clicking of like the stick to the drum that it's like you're hearing that you don't hear in a simulated loop. Like, it's crazy. I love that shit, bro.
Yeah, Tyler, maybe you could play the end of the song Throwaway. There's like, it's like my favorite kind of moment. It's this like breakdown jam after like the final chorus of the song. And this is that band Trap Rabbit I was talking about.
Okay.
Well, you see,
It's a bit further on than this. It's like after this chorus. These guys are so good. It's like no one's saying more than they need to with their instrument, and it's like a conversation that's happening. So it's like after this section.
all
I see what you're saying. Wait, so that's 5 different people doing that? Wow, they're just speaking to each other. And this was recorded live.
There's some overdubs, but
okay. They got it right though. That's all that matters. Wow, it's like you can't hate on that, bro.
Thanks, man.
You can't, and I think the best thing you got going for you, bro. I think it's like obviously you probably appreciate it, but being unique, bro, it's gonna get you so much further than being actually skilled or this, that, and the third. Like obviously you are skilled, but like to me, it's like in 2022, the type of music you're trying to make, the path you're going with it, it's like not a lot of people are going to do that, and that to me already sets you so far apart from everyone else.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I've always maybe it came from a place of insecurity where I felt like, I can't compete with people who are like sitting in their bedrooms and have these like crazy beautiful voices or doing riffs and stuff. So I was always like, I just got to get the band together and like show what we can do live, and that's like always driven it. But that's very kind. I appreciate it.
No problem, man. This was one of my favorite interviews. I actually forgot I was interviewing you. I kind of felt like I was just chatting with the bro.
Yeah, this was great.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Just met you today. Yeah,
literally,
awesome.
like
we're old buddies.
No, seriously. After we could wrap this up. We could talk more, but
sure.
Great interview. Kyle Sparkman. If you guys want to check him out, he's on Spotify, Apple Music, every platform. He got his new album that just came out.
Irrational Actors. Other way. Flip it. One more time.
We're going to get it right.
We're going to get it right. There it is. That's
Irrational
Actors.
Irrational Actors, a 10-song, 2-sided, lovely EP project where he shows you both the sensual, cool side of him, but also the sporadic, fierce, passionate side of him.
Let's go.
This was the Odyssey Podcast or the Odd Pod. We're going to get it right.
It's a great name.
It's your boy Rome. I love y'all. I know you love me. Till next time.